Hi everyone. My name is Haven Leichliter, as you have heard, and I'm a sophomore in the Human Services program here at BRCC. It is an honor to be able to stand up here with such a wonderful group of people before me. Foremost, I'd like to extend my gratitude to everyone in this room. Thank you for being here. And on a more personal level, as a student, I'd like to thank our donors here today for your support. To the students here today, I congratulate us on our perseverance through our education. It isn't always an easy journey, and I found that mine has had many bumps along the way. But I think that the struggles we all face don't have to hold us back. Rather, they unite us. We find a common goal: to support each other and to grow. Allow me to share my story with you today in order to more fully explain the roots of my gratitude and the magnitude of an impact a helping hand can provide. For most of my elementary and junior high years as a student, I was homeschooled. My mom was a teacher, and she was a good one. She pushed me to do well, to learn from my mistakes, and to not let them hold me back. I also experienced a lot of outbursts of domestic violence in my home. I learned to fear my dad, and anxiety was a constant obstacle in my growing mind. By the 8th grade, my parents separated, and my mom re-entered the workforce while my 3 siblings and I were enrolled in public schools. It was difficult to adjust and to come to terms with the changing home life and school environment. We often struggled financially to make ends meet, but even so, I am thankful for the challenges my situation has provided, because it has made me a more independent, understanding, and compassionate individual. So I continued to push through the next couple years of my education. I graduated from Fort Defiance High School and the Valley Career and Technical Center with a Virginia license for cosmetology. I had accomplished a lot, and yet I still faced a lot of uncertainty. When I looked towards my future, I couldn't imagine what it would look like. I had chased cosmetology school because I loved working with people to help them discover their personal beauty. But when I applied for a job at a salon, I was turned down because of my lack of transportation, as my family could not afford a second vehicle. So I was frustrated. I needed to make money to get a car, to go to college, but I couldn't even afford to do that because of these limitations. So I had some time to reflect, and ultimately I found clarity. I felt like God was leading me towards a career in social work, because although I enjoyed cosmetology, I wanted to help others on a deeper level. As I reflected on my life, I remember feeling a specific peace and purpose during a mission trip I had done one summer, in which I served at a children's day camp in one of the poorest cities in the U.S. I was in the midst of unfavorable circumstances: a hot, sweaty summer, long days, a cold I had caught from our camp members, and a ton of kids, many with behavioral issues. And yet, I enjoyed that week. I desired to help each kid feel seen, heard, and that they matter, something that some significant figures in my life did for me. I enjoyed the challenge of learning to connect with the kids who had behavioral problems. Some wouldn't talk, others would run away, and still some dealt with insecurities and pains from their home lives. They weren't their problems, but their problems made it hard for them to just be kids. I reflected on this week, and I wished to know more about the human mind, how to speak with them, how to help. This knowledge followed me as I graduated high school, and I applied to Blue Ridge Community College for the Human Services program. I also took on a youth leadership position at my church, and a church family provided me with my first vehicle. The car had many issues. I often describe my ride as driving a trampoline and a massage chair all at once for all the bumps and rattles I experienced. But it did the job. I had big dreams for college, but my family had a small budget. To say I was concerned about finances would be an understatement, and I applied for as many scholarships as I could. When I first got the news that I received a scholarship, I vividly remember feeling ecstatic. I was overjoyed that I had been the one chosen to receive it, that someone saw my need and desired to help. I remember thanking the Lord for his provision. I knew he was leading me towards an education, and I was confident that this was the direction he was leading me in, even though I had no idea how it would ever work out. And ultimately, I felt relief. A relief knowing that this sum of money would help to relieve the financial burden of my education from my mom's shoulders. I can't count the number of times I lay in bed at night. Excuse me. I can't count the number of times I lay in bed at night thinking about my future and wondering if I could afford to go to college. I needed a new car, I needed to start becoming independent, and I needed to know that my family would be okay if I chose this path. Between the scholarship that I had just learned of and the financial aid grants, I now knew I would be able to afford college. I remember how excited I was to tell my mom. I remember writing in the thank you letter to my scholarship donor, "It truly means the world to me and my family." And I meant it. Because to those of you who have donated, your contributions mean more than just a little more money to help us get by. It shows us students that we are heard, our needs are seen, and that there are others out there who desire to help. In essence, it sends the message, you are not alone. It was this message that brought me a new vigor to start my college education. And with these two things in mind, 1, I have a desire and a goal to help others, and 2, I can move towards my college education without worrying about financial burdens. I jumped into my first year of college, and I haven't looked back. I dedicated myself to my first semester courses, learning and soaking it all in. My second semester, I joined Beyond the Blue, which is a human services club, and obtained an office job at its information and referral center. I became more involved on campus and joined Adventure Club, as well as Blue Ridge Christian Fellowship Club. In the summer of 2022, I worked with Stanton Parks and Recreation at the Children's Day Camp, and this only affirmed my desire to work with youth and pursue my degree. By my third semester, I worked for Stanton City as an after-school aide at the local elementary schools, and I also signed on to continue the work-study position at the Beyond the Blue office. So I worked 2 part-time jobs and attended BRCC as a full-time student. I continued to attend clubs and events on campus with the addition of becoming the Student Leadership Council co-chair and a Phi Theta Kappa member. Up until this semester, I had found that my classes to be fairly easy academically, although they took up a lot of time and effort. But this was the semester that I started to really be challenged by my courses, as I was getting past more of the general classes. And now, this semester, I continue to work with Stanton Elementary Schools, carry a full course load, and attend an internship at People Places, which is a foster care agency in Stanton. I started a club on campus with Addison Sorrells, a close friend of mine, and we are enjoying watching it grow. If there is one thing I can say about BRCC during the nearly 4 semesters I have attended it, it's that the staff and professors here truly care about their students. I want to extend a special thanks to my professors who have always been willing to answer my questions and push me towards success. It truly is a community here. That's why it's bittersweet to say that in May I will graduate from BRCC with my Associates of Applied Science in Human Services. I will miss the time I've spent at BRCC, but I'm so excited to chase after what this place has prepared me for. I plan to transfer to Liberty University to work towards a bachelor's degree in social work. While I continue to serve my community, I can hardly wait to continue to grow my skills and further pursue my education. This is my story. Not everyone's story looks like mine. But I believe that each of us students here today are connected by a common thread. We have been assisted in accomplishing our dreams by kind and generous hearts. I'd like to extend our appreciation to our donors here today. Your contributions to our education have brought us a stronger standing in our academics, a better foothold to accomplish our dreams, and a little more hope in our hearts, knowing that there are others out there who desire to support us. To the students here today, I'd like to acknowledge our strength in the pursuit of our education, and yet the humility we hold, knowing that this is not a journey we accomplish alone. I invite you to turn to your donors now and thank them. Actually, for those of you who don't have donors with you who could not attend today, you can thank a BRCC professor, administrator, or Educational Foundation board member. I personally extend my thanks to my scholarship donors who I enjoyed meeting today. I hope that each of us have been able to share our stories with each other, both students and donors. I believe that this time is a great opportunity for us to connect, to facilitate gratitude, and to honor each other. So let me leave you with a final word. As Winston Churchill once said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Thank you.